Okay, now in this lecture, we are going to see how we can get detail of the crypto. So we will work on the detail screen. So first of all, if you remember, we created two APIs, one for getting the Bitcoin update or profile, and the other is for getting the market data. So when we want to get like some market data, let's say about price, how it was 24 hours ago and 1 hour ago, all of these details, we can get them through the APIs which we have created in the backend. So I will go first here and I am going to install another library which we used as well in the backend. So I am going to install the library which is called Axios because we can use it as well here. So I will go here and I will say Ctrl J. I'm opening my terminal and then I will say here npm install and then I will say Axios. And Axios installation is very important for you to get the data from the API. So we can see the detail of the crypto to get them by ID if you remember how we did that with Postman as well. So let's wait for a while until the installation gets finished and we go to our detail screen. And in the detail screen, we are going to work there because we don't need anymore the home screen because it's already done. So as you see here, the installation finished. I will go now and start working with Axios. So I prefer always in every screen to use the same which we did before, like the use state and use effects, because we did that already and we need the data because they are also delayed. So when I get the data, the screen will not refresh or the state of the screen will not show me the update on the variable of the data where I am putting my data in. So for that, I will do first like import for me the use effect. And also we need to say use state. So in that way, we are ready to use them both. So for that, I am going to create, let's say, use state variable, and it will be constant, and we can give them names, like for example, crypto profile, like this, and it will be the same for setting the crypto profile. So I will get this one, and I will say set here set crypto profile and it will have the type of or let's equal the use state. So I will have here use state for crypto profile and we have again another one for a crypto market data. So we will have two APIs if you remember, one for the profile of the crypto and the other is for the market data. So I will have here market data and we will have as well set market data. So I will copy this part and replace the profile. So now we have two constants. We can then place our data inside them and then use them in our UI. So for that, first of all, we need to get the data. So I'm going to say here, use effect the same way. So the effect will be a callback function, exactly how we saw before and this callback function, we close it. And the second parameter of that use effect will be an empty array as we agreed. So inside the callback function of use effect, we are going to use Axios. So Axios is a library which we have before like imported or when we learned about it before. So I will say here Axios, import Axios from me from the library which we have installed, which is called Axios as well. So it's the same way how we did always with the backend. So now I will say here I use the effect. So the effect is going to execute always the Axios.get and then we will place the URL of our backend. If you remember, we created two APIs. Let me go to the Postman. So the first API which we had before is the crypto market data and we place ID of some crypto and we get those data. So as you see, we have Bitcoin and all the market data. And as well, we will have a profile where we are getting all the profile about the crypto. For example, project detail, some links and background detail. So if you remember, the API address was like this. So we are going to get this URL only this without the ID because the ID will be used based on what the user is clicking, if you remember. So I will go here and I will say, okay, for me, I will use the backticks and then I will say, okay, this is a URL. And as a variable or as an ID, we said that we got the ID from the screen or from the navigation, if you remember from previous screen, and then I will place the ID here. And then, exactly then, we are going to get the data, or we can call it, let's say, response. So I will say here, response. And then it's better to be small letter to not have problems. And then we will have the response inside then, and it will be for us the callback where I am going to set the data of the crypto profile. So for example, we use the market data. Okay, let's fill the market data profile or the market data which are getting from the backend. So I will say here set crypto market data with the response dot data. So this is how Axios works, if you remember. And also, we are going to do the same with Axios, but in another request, another one will be for the profile. So instead of here market data, I am going to say here profile. So in that way, we will get as well the profile data. So it's exactly the same way here. So to make sure that our API is working fine or our calling is working fine, I'm going to place like a console log or we can print them directly on the screen here. So I will say here like the text, first text can be like the market data or crypto profile. Let's try that. So I will put here like this and save. We are getting this error. This because that you cannot pass object to the text. Either you have to make it as a string or you have to console log it to be sure that you are getting the data in the right way. Of course, you can use as well, like how to say, the libraries from JavaScript like JSON.stringify. If you remember this function we had, or we can use it as well in JavaScript. So in that way, we can print the data as well in a string, but in a JSON. So I will go here and I will say, okay, Bitcoin, and then we will wait for a while until we get the data from the back end and we are not getting anything. This is because that I made mistake here. I need to put as well set crypto profile here after we get the response from the backend. Let's refresh again. As you see, we got all data here. But they are very ugly and we are going to make it beautiful and style our application or detail screen for the user to see it in a beautiful way. And this is what we are going to do in the next lectures.